Hello from Ride-4-Fun. We're going to show you how to put a 7.5 horse motor into a gem car. As you can see, the 7.5 horse motor is in front of the car. The original stock motor is still in. I have loosened up a lot of the connections, taken off nuts, and pulled the hood off for ease of videotaping. You're going to start by making very sure the power is off, and you're going to look at disconnecting your electrical connections first. Each one of your wires are marked, as is the poles they are marked to on your motor. You'll see it says A1, A2, F1, and F2. The wires come marked from gem. These wires will have to be pulled off. I have taken the nuts off already. You simply pull off your 4 wires, move them up out of your way. You have your heat sensor. In the other video, we have already told you about pulling apart the heat sensor and shorting out the wire. This is your speedometer sensor wire right here. It's a 3-wire plug. That'll have to be taken off. On the other side of the motor, there are 3 bolts. They're 7/16. They will be taken out. The motor is not taken off in this area using the bolts in the back. So we're going to run through this quick. The bolts have been loosened up, and we're going to do the exchange at this point. Take the 3 7/16 bolts out. The motor will hang on the shaft. It's heavy. Be careful. Take your 2 plugs off. Move it out of the way. Your motor is now ready to take off. Again, it's heavy. You pull that off. Inside the center of the shaft, there's a rubber plug. This little rubber adapter has to be taken out, and it will be put into the new motor. This puts pressure from the shaft to the back bearing of the motor. Lift the motor on. Line it up to the shaft, keeping in mind it's heavy. Poles, just note where they were in the beginning. They'll end up in the similar spot. Slowly turn your motor back and forth until your bolts line up. At this point, if you have read the directions, you will have known that you should have put some Loctite on the bolts. But again, for videotaping purposes and speed of doing that, I have not done so. Your field wires will get put back on. Again, just go by your codes. You swing your wires back around. They will get bolted back on. Your 3-wire plug gets plugged back together. This will get clipped off. These 2 wires will be put together. When you put your wires back on, just be sure that your speedometer wire is pulled back far enough that when you take and turn your tire, it does not hit. This installation will be basically the same for every gem. However, on the older gems, the bolts are less accessible and the motor is going to be a little more difficult to come out, so just be careful. Sometimes it's easier to take the tire off the car and jack it up. Thank you very much from Ride-4-Fun.